By the way, this book is about a guy called John Z. Cunliffe, who, I don't like using the word really, but he's a bit of a God help us, I suppose. It's kind of a recognisable way of saying it. And the book is a year in John Z's life. So this is January, the very start. Mother always said, January is a lovely month. Everything starts over again in the new year. The visitors are all finished with, and you won't see sight nor hear sound of them again till next Christmas, with the help of God. Before you know it, you'll see a stretch in the evenings. The calving starts in January, and as each new life wobbles into the slatted house, your wealth grows a little bit. But wanta. You have to try and claw back what was squandered in December and rubbish that no one really wanted. The bit of frost kills any lingering badness. That's the thing about January. It makes the world fresh. That's what Mother used to say anyway, back when she used to have a lot more to say for herself. Eugene Penrose and his pals were sitting on the low wall in front of the IRA memorial again. Isn't it a fright to God to say a man can't walk home without being tormented by yahoos every single day? A few times lately, Eugene had clipped John Z's heel as he walked past him, and he had stumbled and nearly fallen. How could they be always there anyway? Sure, the dole is great, Mother says. It allows thugs to live like little lords. How is it he couldn't be a proper man, besides creeping along like a red-faced child, afraid of his own shadow, with tears of shame stinging at his eyes? Daddy wouldn't have put up with it, that's for sure. People used to be afraid of John Z's father. He'd give ground to no man. He loved a good row at the mart, or at a match, or above in the yard about the worth of a player, or the price of a beast, or anything you could imagine men might argue about. But he was as well known for his kindness as for his fury. His kindness was never taken for weakness though. Daddy was a tough yoke. He'd shouldered many a big forward into the middle of next week in his days playing hurling. John Z had often heard that said, or something like it. One time he'd worn a hurley off a fella in pure solid temper, and the same lad was never again right after it. John Z had just heard that said once, and when the man saying it saw that he was listening, he stopped talking and looked into his glass of whiskey and turned red. If he thought about something else while he walked the 100-odd steps from the start of the lower front wall to the far end of the churchyard, he could nearly cut himself that they weren't there at all, watching him coming, looking forward to making little of him. Like the deep pool in the stream, down past the weeping willow at the far end of the river field as you start towards the Shannon Callows, where he and Daddy used to swim. Sometimes John Z wondered what would it be like to lie down under the water, and when all the breath in his lungs was gone, just stay down there and breathe in water instead of air. Maybe a miracle would happen, like the ones that happened below in Cork years ago, where the statue of the Virgin Mary came alive and said hello to everyone and cried blood over the state of the world. Mother said 'twas the state of the hairy mollies gawking up at her to better cry. So wouldn't you cry too if you had that shower roaring the Holy Rosary up at you night and day? Maybe instead of drowning, he discovered he had superhuman powers, that he was able to live under the water and could control the streams and the rivers and the sea and all that lived there. And he could live there himself and be a king, with a deadly sharp, three-pronged fork, and loads of beautiful mermaids swimming around with no bras on, and making him his dinner and kissing him.